All right, let's dive into something pretty unexpected today.
Yeah.
Imagine you're falling. I mean, really falling, like 2 miles straight down.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what happened to Julianne Kopek, 17 years old, when her plane broke up over the Amazon. She survived that fall, somehow, still strapped in her seat.
Incredible. But surviving the fall is one thing.
Exactly. Then came, 10 days, alone, injured, trying to figure out this dense jungle she'd never seen before, just trying to find help.
That's hard to even comprehend.
Right.
Right.
Or think about U.S. Air Force pilot Dale Zelko flying the F-117 Nighthawk, the stealth fighter, supposed to be invisible,
The invisible plane.
and then bam, two missiles screaming right at him. His was the only Nighthawk ever shot down. He had seconds, literally seconds, to eject over enemy territory.
These stories, they just grab you, don't they? And they really force that core question, the one our sources keep coming back to. Why them?
Yeah, why did Julianne survive when others on that flight didn't? Why did Dale Zelko manage to evade capture?
It's so easy to just say, oh, it was luck. Or maybe they were just, born different. Superheroes or something.
But the sources really push back on that. They argue that survival, even in these totally extreme situations, it actually boils down to things you can learn, things you can apply.
Like understanding how your mind works under pressure.
Exactly. And having specific knowledge, making certain key decisions, being adaptable, things anyone can work on.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive, isn't it?
Yeah.
To pull out those lessons from life or death moments.
And see how they apply to the challenges you face. Could be a crazy work project, maybe just feeling overwhelmed by information, or even just trying to focus when everything's trying to distract you.
Think of it like a shortcut, maybe. A way to get better prepared for your own unexpected twists and turns.
Yeah, because the sources we're drawing on, they cover everything. History, military training, psychology research. It's this amazing pool of insight into how people cope, and sometimes even thrive, when things go completely sideways.
Okay, so where do we start? I think the first big idea is why. Why even study this extreme stuff?
Right, because it's not really about learning how to, build a shelter in the woods, necessarily.
No, the authors use these extreme examples because they strip away all the noise,
Yeah.
They get down to fundamental human responses, basic strategies.
And the point they make is, look, we all have moments that test us. Making tough choices, dealing with setbacks, getting bad news.
Prioritizing when everything feels urgent, facing stuff that just seems impossible in our own lives.
Absolutely. And the idea is, by looking closely at these survival stories, what worked, what didn't,
What mistakes were made?
we can build a sort of mental toolkit for making better decisions when we're under pressure. It's like learning from the highest stakes classroom imaginable.
There's another interesting angle, too, about the satisfaction you get from basic survival tasks.
Oh yeah, like starting a fire or finding water.
Exactly. There's such a clear goal, a clear outcome. Did you get the fire going? Yes. Okay, that feels good. You achieved something tangible.
Which is often so different from, say, office work, right? Where goals can be blurry, tasks are done through screens, and that direct sense of accomplishment isn't always there.
It taps into something really fundamental, that human need for clear, goal-directed rewards.
Totally resonates.
Oh.
Okay, so if we get the why, the next thing the sources tackle is how our brains actually react when, disaster strikes.
Right, the psychology of it all. And this is where John Leach's work comes in. The sources highlight his research showing our initial responses follow pretty distinct and, importantly, normal patterns.
Yeah, those 5 stages, right?
Yeah. Pre-impact, impact itself, then recoil, that immediate kind of dazed reaction, then rescue, taking action, and finally, post-traumatic, the longer-term effects.
And they use that simple model of the brain, the sort of lizard brain for basic survival, the limbic system for emotions, and the neocortex for rational thought, just as a rough guide.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is that they stress that real debilitating panic, it's actually quite rare.
It's not the default reaction we might think it is.
Not usually, no. It seems to be triggered by specific things, like feeling physically trapped with no space and no time. They mention that helicopter dunker training.
Oh, yeah. Strapped in, underwater, upside down, in the dark.
With other people panicking around you, that's when true panic is likely, not just feeling scared.
Okay, that makes sense. So the goal then, in any crisis, big or small, is to try and get our rational brain, the neocortex, back online.
Exactly. To free up some space there, rather than letting the older, more automatic, sometimes unhelpful responses take over.
So how do we do that?
Well, getting information is key. Understanding what's really happening helps move you out of that pure threat mode.
Yeah.
It calms things down enough for the rational brain to engage.
Okay, information helps. And another huge factor the sources hammer home is preparation.
Absolutely critical. Think about Dale Zelko again, or airline crews. Why do they drill constantly?
It's about making those actions automatic, isn't it? Building muscle memory.
Precisely. Practicing pulling an ejection handle or touching controls in a simulator blindfolded. It means in the real moment, you don't waste precious brain power thinking about how to do it. Your body just knows.
Saves time, saves mental energy.
But it's not just physical practice. Mental rehearsal is huge, too.
Not just worrying, though.
No, not just worrying. Deliberately thinking through specific scenarios. Okay, if X happens, I will do Y. Visualizing the response.
And they had that practical tip, the flap sheet idea, getting thoughts onto paper.
Yes. Outsourcing your brain's RAM, essentially. For a big project, list the key parts, then quickly note, what if this fails? Plan B is. Just getting it out of your head frees up so much mental space.
It applies everywhere. What's your weak link at work? A key client? What's the contingency?
Or even before a big pitch. Spend 5 minutes. Okay, worst 3 things that could happen. Tech fails, tough question, I lose my place. Briefly outline a response. Doesn't stop it happening, but it cushions the blow.
It reduces that deer in headlights feeling.
And Velka's story post-ejection shows this perfectly. His training was so ingrained, he wasn't thinking about how to use the radio. That was automatic.
So his mind was free for the bigger problems.
Exactly. How to evade, how to communicate safely. Preparation bought him that crucial spare brain space.
Amazing. Okay, so preparation is key. You're in this situation. How do you structure what you actually do?
This brings us to a really powerful, simple model, the survival triangle.
Okay, the survival triangle. What is it?
Super simple idea. Control leads to hope. Hope fuels a plan. And the plan directs your effort effectively. It's this positive feedback loop.
Control, hope, plan, effort. Okay.
Yeah.
How does that work for something less dramatic, like that massive report example?
Perfect example. 90 pages feels overwhelming, uncontrollable. So you break it down, 3 pages a day. That feels controllable.
Manageable chunks.
As you hit that daily goal, you feel a sense of control. That builds hope. Okay, I can do this, which keeps you sticking to the plan 3 pages a day, directing your effort where it needs to go.
Breaking it down creates that cycle.
Got it.
And related to the plan part, there's the PLAN acronym itself.
Yes, plan. It's a priority checklist. Protection first from the elements, injury. Location can you be found? Acquiring water first, then food. And navigation moving to safety.
Protection, location, acquiring, navigation. And the key question behind it is,
What will harm me first? It's brutal, but it forces rational prioritization. Stops you focusing on the wrong thing.
like our tendency to tackle easy tasks first. The desert island desk.
Exactly. Your brain wants that quick dopamine hit from clearing emails, but what really harms your progress is avoiding that big, important, maybe difficult task.
The eat that frog idea. Do the hard thing first.
So the advice is, start your day, take a moment, what's your plan, what really needs doing first, write it down, then commit to tackling that. It's about conscious prioritization over instinct.
Makes sense. Okay, plan made, priorities set. Now, execution. Keeping going when it's tough.
Yeah, endurance, grit, that perseverance. The sources make a great point about endurance athletes or people in extreme hardship. It's not that they feel less pain.
They just manage it better.
They manage it better mentally. They focus their energy on the activity, on the task at hand, not on the discomfort itself, like John Coulter running from the Blackfeet.
Right, wounded, exhausted, but focused purely on reaching the river, not on the agony.
Your mind cannot be elsewhere, as the sources say. You have to be in the moment. And underpinning all this endurance are basic physical needs.
Sleep being a massive one.
Non-negotiable. Sleep deprivation kills your ability to think clearly. Simple things help power naps good. Phone screen by the bed bad.
Temperature too. Get too hot or cold, and your brain just doesn't work properly.
Performance tanks. Decision-making goes out the window. Simple checks. Am I cold? Put on a layer. Too hot? Take one off. Sounds basic, but easily forgotten under stress.
And hydration. Even being slightly dehydrated messes with your head.
1% dehydration impairs mental function. Urine color is a rough guide, aim for pale. And that critical rule, never drink urine or seawater.
Counterintuitive, but vital. You'll survive longer drinking nothing.
Right. And these basics translate directly to the office or anywhere you need to focus. Managing distractions is like managing environmental threats.
Email pop-ups, phone buzzing.
Turn them off. Use comms windows. Find quiet space. Noise-canceling earbuds. Create your own do not disturb bubble.
And exercise. Crucial for the brain, not just the body.
Medium intensity seems best. Take the stairs, walk at lunch, improve sleep, blood flow, neural connections, even creativity. Apparently, walking at a moderate pace is good for thinking.
Green spaces help too, right? Boosts focus.
Yeah, improves well-being and executive function.
Yeah.
It all helps you keep going, execute the plan.
Okay, so execution needs managing. What about hope? How do you keep that alive when things look bleak?
Remember the triangle. Control fuels hope. Hopelessness often comes from feeling powerless over your suffering. So finding anything you can control, any action you can take, helps maintain hope.
And connecting those small actions to a bigger goal, like that Arnhem Land crew.
Exactly. They crashed, were lost, trapped. But they kept exploring, kept looking for a way out. They kept acting because they hadn't given up. They were still moving when the tide came in and gave them their escape route.
You only catch the break if you're still in the game.
That's it. They controlled what they could, searching, and that sustained hope until the uncontrollable changed.
This really comes through in Admiral Stockdale's story, the Stockdale paradox.
8 years as a POW, he held two ideas at once. Brutal honesty about the awful present. This is terrible. I might not make it.
But also,
Unshakable faith in the ultimate outcome. I will prevail. I will get home. No illusions about the difficulty, but absolute certainty about the end goal.
and he used that stoic idea, didn't he? Separating what's up to me and what's not up to me.
Yes, his opinions, his attitude, his effort, those were up to him. The torture, the prison conditions, when he'd be released, not up to him. He poured all his energy into what he could control.
Such a powerful mindset for anything difficult.
Yeah.
There are always things outside our control.
Market changes, other people's reactions, unexpected events.
But our response, our attitude, our next step, that's always ours.
Always up to us. And a practical way to build that sense of control, the sources suggest, is breaking tasks down into timed chunks.
Like the Pomodoro technique. 25 minutes on, 5 off.
Exactly, or 50 minutes of physical work, 10 rest. It creates small wins. Each completed chunk builds control, fuels hope, makes the whole thing feel less threatening, keeps the rational brain engaged.
Control, hope, breaking things down. But it's not all solo effort, is it? The human element is huge.
Crucial. Alexander Selkirk, Robinson Crusoe's inspiration. Physically, he was fine after years marooned. Mentally, the isolation was crushing. He desperately missed people. We're wired for connection.
And that research about regrets of the dying, working too much, not enough time with loved ones. A stark reminder.
Really puts things in perspective. But, other people can also be challenging, especially under pressure.
Huh. Understatement.
So the sources suggest finding common ground. Hobbies, interests outside the immediate problem. It helps you see the person, not just the obstacle. Builds rapport, reduces friction.
Makes sense. Treat people like people first. And what about influencing others, getting them on board with a plan?
Emotion often works better than pure logic. Frame things in terms of human impact.
1 in 4 people here versus 25%.
Exactly, it lands differently. And a bit of surprise helps make ideas stick, makes them memorable.
And how we praise people matters too.
Hugely important. Praise effort, not innate talent. Saying, you're so smart can actually make people fragile.
How so?
Because when they hit something they can't do easily with talent alone, they might just give up. Guess I'm not smart enough for this. It creates a fixed mindset.
Whereas praising effort.
Dane, you really worked hard on that. Your persistence paid off. That builds a growth mindset. It teaches that effort is the key, especially when things get tough. Encourages resilience.
That's massive for teams, for kids, for yourself, really. Okay, what about the flip side? Negativity.
Spreads like wildfire, doesn't it? The world-class grumbler dragging everyone down.
Those Everest climbers had that rule.
Only say nice things to each other. Simple, but effective.
Practical tips? Maybe step away if you're feeling grumpy yourself. Don't infect the group.
Yeah, manage your own mood first. And weirdly, those little physiological hacks can work.
Like the pencil in the mouth trick.
Yeah, forces a smile, engages the muscles, can actually shift your mood slightly. And chewing gum research shows it can reduce stress and help focus. Small things.
Worth a try. Okay, beyond people, the source is stress, adaptability, learning, being creative.
And the Franklin expedition versus John Ray is the classic tragic example. Franklin, latest tech, rigid methods, ignored local Inuit knowledge, failed catastrophically.
Right. Adopted Inuit techniques, dog sleds, snow shelters, hunting methods, learned from the locals, succeeded.
The lesson is clear. Don't let biases block good information, especially from people with experience, and be wary if everyone in your group instantly agrees on something. Maybe red team it, challenge your own assumptions.
But it's not just about old ways. Ralph Bagnold using cars in the Sahara.
Right, applying new tech creatively. Adaptability cuts both ways. Be open to local knowledge, but also find novel applications for new tools. That spare brain space we talked about allows for this.
And creativity can be simple. The fog catchers, using parachute material.
Brilliant. Low tech, adapted to local conditions. Don't dismiss ideas just because they sound odd at first, and embody constant learning. Like Freddie Spencer Chapman in Malaya, his motto, I never lose, I either win or learn.
Always practicing, even deliberately getting lost to practice navigation, teaching others to solidify his own knowledge.
So apply the advice. Try the daily list. Practice empathy. Put yourself in slightly uncomfortable learning spots.
Which brings us to some of those practical skills, and just being more aware of the world around us.
Yeah, like jungle awareness, wait a while vines threat, but also manageable if you know how. Basic hygiene, antiseptic, foot powder, preventing small problems becoming big ones.
That wet, dry clothing routine, counterintuitive but vital.
Accepting you'll get wet, but managing it to avoid constant damp and cold. And the Iban pace, regular rests. Sometimes slower is faster, more sustainable.
And navigating by nature, using the sun, the moon, the wind.
Basic observation skills. Knowing the sun's path, Earth's tilt, how crescent moon tips point, how your eyes adapt to darkness, using weather or terrain for cover. Ancient skills? Still relevant.
And there are modern parallels, right? Like not advertising your empty house online.
Basic security. Using green spaces, maybe even a paper map sometimes. Letting people know your plans if you're heading out somewhere remote. Simple precautions.
And practicing basic skills like fire lighting or shelter building.
It's not just about the skill itself. It builds confidence, self-reliance, reconnects you with something fundamental, builds that sense of capability.
Okay, so pulling all this together, brain science, planning, hope, people, learning, what's the big takeaway?
I think the core message is really empowering. It's that we all have this latent ability to be, as they call it, best practice survivors. We can seriously improve how we handle any challenge.
Not just life or death ones.
No, everyday stuff too, by understanding our own minds and bodies and applying these proven techniques.
You don't need a crisis to use this. Managing your inbox, navigating a tricky meeting, the principles apply.
That survival triangle control, hope, plan, effort, the plan priorities, their mental scaffolding for tackling anything overwhelming.
And just the act of preparing, even for unlikely things, makes you more capable and, oddly, maybe happier now.
Yeah, increases your comfort zone, makes you more resilient day to day, reminds you got those unused reserves.
Always more in the tank than you think.
Right, and a simple way to start tapping into that. Just reconnect with nature, a walk in the park, it boosts well-being, focus, creativity.
Okay, so a final thought for everyone listening. Think about Franz, the escaped prisoner. His one driving force through unimaginable hardship was getting home to family.
Survival stripped everything else away, revealed what truly mattered.
So the question for you is, how can you apply that kind of radical clarity to your life right now? What are the non-essentials you could strip away to focus on what truly matters most?
Something to think about. We hope you'll maybe look for your own inspiring examples and start putting some of these ideas into practice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.